Hey, what up, fam? Thank you for joining me on another episode of Chrissy Cooks. Today on Chrissy Cooks, we're going to cook a simple and easy stuffing. Now it's Thanksgiving time, guys, and we don't want a whole lot of hassle. So if you want to learn how to make a simple and easy stuffing or dressing, depending on where you're from, stay tuned. Okay guys, right here in this pan I have 3/4 of a stick of butter, and I'm gonna try to melt it down really quickly so I can saute my vegetables. But I want to show you right here I have a bag of herb seasoned stuffing by Pepperidge Farm. In this little bowl here I have some seasonings of my choice. We're going to talk about those just a little bit later. One of those seasonings is very, very necessary. Right here, I have some roasted chicken that I roasted earlier, and I have the dark meat, a little bit of dark meat from that. Right here in this bottle, I have some minced garlic. Come on, butter, melt. Seems like it's taking forever. Right here I have a large egg. I have some spray that I'm going to spray my pan with so that this mixture doesn't stick. Right here in this bowl I have a large onion. I have 4 stalks of celery and a little piece of green pepper. I cannot cook onions without green pepper. I tried. I can't do it. But anyway, in this container right here, I have some chicken broth. It is a quart of chicken broth, actually. Now, once our butter has melted, we're going to go ahead and add our veggies to it. And we're going to saute them until they are tender. You don't want to put uncooked vegetables in your stuffing, guys, because it's not going to be in the oven long enough to soften those raw vegetables. So I would suggest you sauteing them ahead of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep mixing them around in this pan until they become tender, making sure that my stove stays on medium high, because I don't want to take all day doing this. It's not necessary. I'm going to take about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of garlic, and I'm just going to move that around the pan until it becomes fragrant. You don't want to, burn your garlic because it'll get bitter. So you just cook it until it gets, fragrant, until you can start to smell it. And then right here I'm going to go ahead and add in my roasted chicken, and I'm going to incorporate that as well as I can with those veggies. And next up here, I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasonings, guys. Now, I want you to understand something. When using seasonings in this stuffing, you need to understand that everything has sodium in it. Okay? Salt, sodium, what have you. One of the necessary ingredients that you must use is poultry seasoning. Now, so many people are like, I can't stand sage. The first seasoning in poultry seasoning is sage. It has salt, black pepper, thyme, all of that in there. So be mindful of what you're putting in, as well as you're also going to add some chicken broth, which is going to have salt too. So I wouldn't suggest adding any salt until the very end, unless you taste it and it needs more salt, then add it. But poultry seasoning is a must. I am also using an all-purpose seasoning as well. So that is done. So I went ahead and cut the stove off. I'm going to go ahead and crack my egg into my little dish and get it prepared for putting into my stuffing. I'm going to go ahead and get my pan and spray that down fairly well with my spray. Now, once I spray that down very well, I'm going to go ahead and place my breadcrumbs into my pan. I'm starting to get nervous because I'm like, this is not looking like it's not gonna fit, but I knew it would, because once you add the liquid to it, it shrinks up. So I went ahead and added the breadcrumbs to my pan. Now I'm gonna take my vegetable mixture and I'm gonna go ahead and add that on top of the breadcrumbs. Now, mind you, I told you that in my container of broth, it was a quart. So I'm going to start off with half of that quart, just to see what I'm working with. Now, I wouldn't suggest just going up to your breadcrumbs and just dumping the whole amount of liquid in, because you don't know how much you're going to need. So I'm going to dump in half. And then I'm going to mix it around here and see what I'm working with. And right away, I can already tell that I'm definitely going to need that other half of broth, because you want your breadcrumbs to be moist. Nothing worse in the world, you guys, than a dry stuffing. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of that chicken broth in over those breadcrumbs. And we're going to mix that up. And I'm sitting here looking at myself and laughing at myself, because when I was doing this video, I was like, what are you doing? You and this spoon. Girl. Use them spoons that God gave you and go and mix that stuff up. You know we don't be using those spoons to mix no stuff. Get some clean hands and go on in there. So we're going to put these hands all through it, mix it up, making sure everything is incorporated well. Now, don't forget, we still have our egg to add, but we're not going to add our egg until we're absolutely sure that we're done with this mixture. Then we'll add the egg. So I'm going to keep on mixing, making sure that all of that liquid is absorbing into that bread. So I'm going to keep on mixing. Also, I'm making sure that all of the vegetables is mixed in very well throughout. Y'all should have seen me. I was like, you know what? This spoon is not working. I can't. It's not getting in there. You got to get into it. Touch your food. It's okay. As long as you got clean hands, touch your food. So now at this point right here, now before you do anything, you want to see if the seasonings are balanced in your dish, because if you don't taste it, you're not gonna know what it tastes like. So I suggest at this point, once you mix, get you a fork and taste it. Make sure that the salt is right. Make sure it's enough, poultry seasoning in there. Make sure that everything tastes good. And if it tastes good, honey, this was the bomb. Okay? Just go ahead and beat up your egg real nice and pour that down over top and go back in on it. Chrissy, why are you holding that fork, girl? I was thinking about going in for seconds. Y'all don't know, that stuff was so good. The girl was a little hungry. But, yeah. So just go ahead back in with your hands and make sure that you incorporate. Put the fork down, girl. Make sure that you incorporate very well that egg throughout that mixture. It's going to act as a a little binder. So we want to make sure that it's all throughout our dish. And at this point, it is super moist. It is the way that I want it to be. Like I said, have you ever went to someone's house and they serve you some dry stuffing? If I wanted breadcrumbs, I would have bought croutons. You know what I mean? So once you get it all mixed up like you want it, take your hand and level it out as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want it to be able to cook evenly, okay? So once you get finished leveling it out, it's going to look a little something like this right here. Looks good already to me. So remember, we preheated our oven to 350 degrees, and we're going to go ahead and put this puppy in there for about 30 minutes, give or take. Now, it all depends on your stove, but it took 30 minutes in my stove. And I'm going to go ahead and put her in. And when she came out, though, she was all nice and brown. Look at that. That is some delicious stuffing, you guys. I want y'all to know that this pan, this pan was so freaking hot. I tried to do everything I could to not touch this pan, but every time if you see when I'm sticking the spoon in it, the pan is sliding on the stove. So I'm trying to push it with the fork, and then I'm trying to grab it with 2 fingers and push it with 1 finger. That thing burnt my hand. If you'll see me when I reach in and try to touch it to hold, look, it burnt myself. So, but look at this beautiful stuffing. It is so flavorful and delicious. It's moist on the inside and it has a little crisp on the outside. I guarantee you guys this will be a crowd pleasing stuffing. I want to thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Chrissy Cooks. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, and hopefully you have already hit that bell to be notified when I upload any other videos. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, and please, please, please share this video. And until next time, you guys, thank you so much. Peace.